live on the Metal Voice. Sad
Hey, Jim,
news.
another
Yes.
another sad news. This is happening way too often.
Yeah.
Paul Ace Frehley unfortunately passed away today.
It's like a piece of our childhood, Alan, has been sort of ripped from us.
Yes,
I can't explain. Look at this.
is that a great album cover? That was
Alan,
the first.
look at
Yeah,
this.
that's the first introduction to Kiss, I think.
This, just so everybody knows, this is the real deal. I bought this when it was released. So maybe it's a little worn and torn, kind of like all my records, but you know what? This was the original one. This was bought with my own money at the store. As soon as it was released, I went for Ace Frehley, who died today, October 16th, 2025. There was a statement. So I should say at the age of 74, there was a statement by his family that was posted. We are completely devastated and heartbroken, Frehley's family said in a statement. In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. We cherish all of his finest memories, his laughter, and celebrate his strengths and kindness that we bestowed upon others. The magnitude of his passing is of epic proportions and beyond comprehension, reflecting on all of his incredible life achievement. Ace's memory will continue to live on forever.
No doubt, without doubt.
Man,
And
oh
we were
man.
lucky enough to interview him when the release of his last solo album.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he was hey, we were the last interview. He gave us all the time in the world.
Yeah.
He was and I'm sitting there going, I'm just gonna sit back and watch because this is Jimmy, this is Jimmy's guy. This is his guy. And if Ace wants to talk, we're gonna let him talk. And hopefully you'll have fond memories of that interview for a long time to come.
I got to say, Alan, I watched it right before this, and he made us laugh. And he is the rock star that we all wanted to be, right?
Yeah.
Carefree, rock and roll. He's intelligent too, right? The guy's not a dummy.
Yeah. I mean, all the electronics with the smoking
Oh
guitars
man,
and this
it's
and
just
the guitar straps with the lightning bolts. I mean, he's the one that started all that.
smoke coming out of the
Yeah.
guitar. It's just, oh man, oh man. I don't know what to say. Like, I had out of the four original Kiss members, Ace was my favorite. I dressed up as Gene because it was more scarier, right? But Ace was always my favorite. The badass, the sort of sloppy Jimmy Page solos, the interesting riffs. And you know what? And everybody laughed at me at the time, but I loved his voice. It's so quirky, it's so original, and I've always looked forward to on every Kiss album those one or two songs and sometimes three, that he put on it. That's what made Kiss Kiss, right? I don't know. What are your fondest
Yeah, he
memories
was
of his
like the
music?
George Harrison of the band, right? It's hard
Correct.
to get
Yeah.
his songs on the.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
said, Gene was proud that he wrote thousands of songs, and he's like, "No, I only write if I have something to say." So Ace was proud of the fact that he might only have 20 or 30 songs in the bank. So, and that's why he was kind of frugal with the distribution of his songs on the Kiss albums, and then of course the solo album came out, and he had all this stuff he kept maybe for the solo albums and beyond. So
You
it
know,
was a different respect for Ace after the solo album came out,
look at this. This again, this is the original
the
purchase.
first
Man,
one.
look, friggin' Ace, right? He's like the rock star of the band. Gene, sure, he's the demon. Paul's the sort of the steady Freddy guy, and Peter Criss in the background. But look at Ace, man. It couldn't be a cooler picture, man. When you're a kid and you're looking at these guys, they're not dressed up like clowns, right? They're dressed up like friggin'
Superheroes.
superheroes gonna take over the world, man. And the original laugh. And remember, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah.
The laser beams coming out of his eyes. I was like, wow, they're fighting those monsters there.
Was that coming out of Paul's eyes, or did that come out of
Well,
Ace?
maybe
I
it was
thought Paul had
Paul's
the
eyes.
one eye.
What was Ace's superpower? Somebody remind me.
Showing up to the filming. Hey, but it's funny what you said too. That was always my impression as well. Is Ace was the rocker of the group, right? Didn't he? It just seemed to give you that impression.
Look at this. Look at this. You know what? And actually, so I'm reading everybody's. I'm going to look at everybody's comments here, and the Tom Snyder interview in 1977,
Yeah,
where
classic.
Ace was. We actually, if anybody wants to go back to our interview, we actually spoke to him about that. So it's hilarious. The moment where he's sort of completely out of control, and Gene and Paul or Gene's kind of looking at him like, okay, ixnay on the
You know,
EVT,
hold on. One of these, I have it here. Let's see. I'll just, in case anybody's looking for it.
Mm.
Where is it? It's on one of these, one of the Kissologies.
Mm-hmm.
That they have the actual interview. Let me see if I can find which Kissology had it.
Mike, I'm sorry.
It's just so funny because here it is. It's on the Kissology Volume 2, The Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder from October 31st, 1979. It's Tom's reaction because he was told that you'll be lucky if Ace says anything. And as it turns out, they couldn't get Ace to shut up during the interview, much to Gene's chagrin. He was just fuming. You see him steaming that Ace was taking up the whole interview, and Peter was enjoying it. And he even says at one time, Peter says, "You're going to pay for that later." It's just a classic. Classic
like
Ace.
Gene and Paul were the sort of, we got to act professional here, even though we're dressed up in this funny makeup. But Ace is just letting it go, man. He's letting, and even if he wasn't intoxicated, I'm sure he would still let it go, right? As he did in our interview, right? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is when you're like 11 years
And
old.
I mean, you talk about
shit like this,
a sense of humor in that. Like, if you read, this is a great book, by the way, No Regrets, Ace Frehley.
It's a great book.
When he talks about, having to talk John Belushi to go out to perform as the Blues Brothers at his club, and Ace says, "Look, it doesn't matter how you sing. I don't have the best voice, but I go out there," and he kind of got him to go out and perform, even though his voice was shot, and he had that kind of influence on John Belushi, and then probably a lot of people, right? I mean, a lot of people in New York respected him by that time. So
the iconic songs of Ace, you can hear them on this album, like "Shock Me," "Rocket Ride." Listen to that guitar work on "Rocket Ride." It's probably "Shock Me" and "Rocket Ride" are two of my favorite, Kiss songs. I know people like the earlier stuff, but to me, I don't know.
Well, my friend Keith is probably a bigger Ace Frehley fan than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he picked up the guitar just because of Ace. He had all the Frehley Comets albums back in the day. He was the first one to buy them. I mean, Ace was a huge influence on Keith's playing, and I'm sure he's having maybe a drink or two in the memory of Ace tonight. So.
Alan, I bought this right here, 12 picks. It's just basically Ace's solo material with Kiss Ace songs, basically. I don't know, a lot of people don't have this, but I thought it was. That's how much of a Kiss Ace Frehley fan I was. I'll pick up just like I have actually icons too.
So, like you said, you're a young, impressionable kid. You've spoken about your passion for Kiss, just the way they look. But what for you made Ace stand out above the others? What was it for you?
He was the rock star, man. He was definitely the rock star, man. He was, and I think something that Ace has that you and I have as well, the sense of humor, right? To just not take life that serious sometimes. And you could connect, sort of like he was more the down to earth person, where Paul and Gene were the suits in a way, right? Not necessarily the suits, but they were like the suits. And Ace was sort of the down to earth guy that everybody could relate to. He was a musician's musician, right? A lot of people say that. He was always writing some cool. He was against the norm of the suits in Kiss, right? So he was the outcast of the Kiss were the outcast, but he was the outcast of the outcasts in a sense, right? So I could relate to him as a kid. Every rock stars could relate to him. He's just that guy on the street, right? That everybody could relate to. And he's got that sense of humor, and he could write those songs. And right when you think they sort of lost faith in him, he pulls out another great song. And wait a second. I have an idea, Ace. Let's do some solo albums. And of course, Gene and Paul thinking, whatever, right? Meanwhile, he blows everyone away. Right? And yeah, Gene will say he had the most sold or highest. No, this was the album that is considered by most Kiss fans as the best solo album. And I believe it sold what? It probably sold more than the other ones.
I mean, Fractured Mirror, you know,
Speeding New York Groove.
Russ Ballard song, New York Groove.
Yeah, yeah.
Rip It Out. I mean, just right from the
Rip It
first
Out.
track,
I
right?
know, look at all the tracks here.
Speeding Back to My Baby.
Rip It Out, Speeding Back, Snowblind, What's on Your Mind, New York Groove, I'm in Need of Love, Wiped Out, and of course Fractured Mirror that he's done like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4.
Yeah.
What else do I got here? And let's talk about, yes, his solo albums over the years weren't
so let's go
high
back.
caliber.
So now he leaves the band, right?
Yeah.
You're following Kiss. You're a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
He leaves the band, and then Frehley's Comet comes out. What's your impression? What's your feeling? Are you checking out?
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, all the people that are watching, he was the first one to unmask himself. Because nobody in the mainstream didn't know what he looked like. Go back, Alan. Think back.
I thought Peter Criss unmasked himself when he left.
You're right. Maybe it was Peter Criss first,
sure.
Then it was Ace, and then it was Gene and Paul, right? I think that was the order. He unmasked himself. He comes out with Frehley's Comet and Rock Soldiers and was it Into the Night and Rock Soldiers? I got to go look. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while.
What was your impression of that band? Are you like, Ace is back? This is great. Or you're like, hey,
Ace is back, and I told
Kiss.
you so. Ace is back, and I told you so. But then Kiss came out with Lick It Up, right? So you're kind of like, okay, this sounds good, and this sounds good. They're both back, and you're kind of hoping maybe they'll get back together, but that didn't happen.
Jimmy always wants them to get back together.
And then he comes out with his second, solo album or Frehley's Comet album. Things are like, it's just not working. And then he kind of lost us over the years after that. Then of course,
they get back together.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. Then they get back together. I couldn't afford to go to the show, so I never saw those shows. Like they came back twice, right? Another reunion. But then Ace was saying, wait a second, didn't we already have a goodbye? Why are we doing another goodbye? And we talked to them about that in the interview too. So they kept saying goodbye, and they're still saying goodbye. And it's still
apparently, yeah, they've been on their farewell tour since 2002.
Yeah. So the big comebacks, and now Ace is back, sort of in the spotlight, and he decides not to go back to Kiss. Right now, Tommy Thayer's there. They come out with their 2 albums again. He comes out with a few of his albums. Didn't necessarily hit
quite a few actually.
Some covers, but it never really hit the mark. And I think if there was any album to go out on, it would be this one, 10,000 Volts. I just listened to it as I was doing my little walk today, and I go, this might be, of course, after his original solo album, this might be the best Ace Frehley solo album. It's got everything. It's got the quirkiness, it's got the melody, it's got the cool guitar playing, and I'm not going to go through the whole review of this album. We've reviewed it, and we've talked to Ace about it, so yeah, that's where we're at. And it's sad.
Now, refresh my memory. I think we only interviewed Ace once.
One time, yeah. We tried for many, many years. Yeah.
But what an interview! Like I said, we had to go. He wanted to continue the interview, and we're the ones that hey, we got other things to do.
Listen, we gotta go, Case.
Yeah.
Go. For those of you who have not seen the interview, it's a perfect Ace Frehley interview where we're kind of riffing off each other and having a good time. And you're right, Alan. We were trying to get off because we had things to do, but he was still on talking to us, and we had a great time.
Sometimes it pays to be the last interview of the day.
Yeah.
And again, he was saying some stuff like, Kiss hasn't released a solo album in a long time or any albums. And I guess he was trying to say that his output in recent years was a lot more than studio output than Kiss. But it's like, just let it ride, man. We got Ace on the interview. He's in good spirits. He's in good health. And he's telling us interesting stories. And this being your idol, right? And this, like, I'm just sitting back and just let Jimmy enjoy the moment. So lucky that's a great interview. That's one of the ones that stand out for me over
Yeah.
the dozen plus years we've been doing this.
So it was Rock Soldiers, Into the Night as the two big singles when he came out with his first Frehley's Comet album. And then the second Sighting one kind of lost a little momentum there. Not the worst album. Trouble Walking kind of lost. I think that's when they signed to a Megaforce, I believe. I could be wrong. That kind of a little, it's kind of like that whole Kiss thing was over by then. And yeah, sure, he toured with Peter Criss as the Terrible Twosomes, or they called the tour. Do you remember that one? And then actually, Alan, it was Anomaly. If you want to go in chronological order, this was the one. 2009, after Anomaly.
Oh my gosh, that long ago.
Then Space Invaders in 2014. And then The Origins, which was cover tunes. And then Spaceman, which I have somewhere. That came out. And then Origins Volume 2, against more covers. And then this sucker. So it's a great, you know what? This is a great way to end off his career and sadly his life. So tell me your favorite Ace Frehley songs. Could be solo, could be Kiss. I know you didn't have a lot of time for this. And everybody who's watching, type in your favorite song and I'll read it out loud.
I mean, we'll go back to the first solo album. I mean, I like, Rip It Out, just the way that starts.
Yeah, Rip It Out.
I'm in Need of Love. I like the vocals on that. And then, Speeding Back to My Baby and New York Groove are the two more poppier songs on there. I don't know. I'm sure. I mean, didn't he do one?
Look at this. I'm getting Art saying Rip It Out. Victorine is saying New York Groove. Sky Ming is saying Ozone. DMG, Talk to Me. Talk to Me is off of Unmasked.
Yeah, I like
Talk
that.
to
Yeah,
Me.
you know what? I kind of like Talk to Me too. What was the one off of Dynasty he had on Dynasty?
It's oh man.
Hard Times? Is it, what is it?
It's the cover of the Rolling Stones 2000 Man.
Yeah, but does he have another one off of there?
He does. He has Hard
Times, I want to say.
Hard Times. That's right. It is Hard Times.
Yeah.
2000 Man. I think there's another.
I like that one.
Am I wrong? Hard Times is great. It's a nice rocker. But 2000
Shock
Man.
Me, of course.
But look at 2000 Man. He takes a cover of the Stones.
Yeah.
Like not too many people.
And he made it his own.
He really made it his own. He killed it, man.
I love his vocals on that song. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
It kind of fits right into his wheelhouse, that song.
I'm trying to go back now. Think of the first Kiss album, right? It's his guitar work. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of co-writing that came over from Wicked Lester, but that is still his signature guitar work on that album. And I don't know, man. Things like Deuce, which they still play to this day. I'm trying to think all the cool moments on his guitar work. Cold Gin. It's Cold Gin time again. Yeah. He was scared to sing in those early days, right? He was a little fearful to sing, right?
And again, they patterned themselves after the Beatles. They did want everybody to contribute. Gene and Paul being the Lennon and McCartney, and Ace kind of being the George Harrison. But Peter Criss, of course, being a much stronger voice than maybe Ringo. But they did have that brotherly, hey, everybody should contribute, and they were after Ace to write more and let him sing. And Peter obviously had some great tunes as well, where his voice, and like Peter's very proud to admit that, the only number one song or the highest charting song was him singing, right? So
yeah, Beck.
Beck.
And then look at Rock Bottom. Another great song. I'm just going through the albums here, and when you go to Destroyer, right? Which is probably my favorite Kiss album. I know it's, things like Detroit Rock City, just the arrangements, the sound, the tone. Flaming Youth, I think he writes that one too. Yes, there was a lot of Ghost playing and whipping him in the studio that he wasn't too happy about. But that's the tone. It's the guitar solos. It's everything. It's Ace Frehley, man. Dimebag was so influenced by Ace. There's just so many guitarists that were. He was a guitarist, and he was also a fan's favorite, we'll say. So there's a lot of things to Ace there. Rock and Roll Over, man, another great album. I'm trying to think of the songs there. Did he contribute on that album? I'm not sure. Alan?
I'll
Oh, it was Love Gun that I'm thinking of. Hold on.
you're the one that knows a lot
Yeah,
more
Love Gun
about
was Shock Me. That's it. And I think that's where he was. Is that his first vocal? I'm trying to remember. I'm getting confused now. I think it was.
I think it's age catching up to you, Jim.
It's age catching up to me. But
30
you know
years
what?
ago, you would have known this by heart.
Yes, Rock and Roll Over has Ace on that. No, but did he have songwriting credits on that? That's what I want to know. Shock Me was a Samurai's favorite song. Matthew saying "Talk to Me." I love "Talk to Me." It's kind of like a Beach Boys song, right?
Yeah.
It's got the harmonies. Yes, so I was right. Shock Me, Alan. I'm not that old. Shock Me was his first vocal. He was scared to do it. Yes, it was Shock Me. So there you go. I'm not that old.
Oh, it was his experience.
I'm second guessing myself here.
He had to write it and sing it. It was based on his experience.
Yeah. David says "Rip It Out" is his favorite song. Look at these. A lot of "Rip It Out."
Yeah, that's a,
And I'm right again, Alan. I'm right again. Matthew says he didn't have songwriting credits on Rock and Roll Over, but he did have his best ever solo on Making Love. Agreed.
Oh, so yeah, good.
I love that album. I remember that. So I was second guessing myself. Sky Ming is saying, I really wonder what Animalize would have sounded like if Ace was still in the band. Not as glossy, more Jimmy Pagey, I guess. Matthew saying Ace was the coolest for sure. All right, guys, give us a few more songs or an album or a solo song or something off of Kiss. Matthew saying on the go ahead, sorry.
You being a fan, I mean, every album he released, you got, and this is the best one. This is the best one. You have a tendency of doing every album come out. This is my best one. But yeah, I mean, you enjoyed his music right to the end. Everything he did, you remained that little boy all through, and enjoyed Ace's entire career. So this must be a hard time for you.
At first we were getting these sort of rumors that he's dead, and then we got these rumors that I wouldn't say rumors, but he was staying. They were keeping him alive, right?
He fell in the studio. He was hospitalized.
Yeah.
He wanted to go out and get on tour. The doctor said, "You better not go anywhere." Then it led to apparently a brain bleed.
Yeah.
And now it's unfortunately that's when it started. Was rumors of life support, and then unfortunately we all got the news just a few hours ago that he had passed away. So,
you know what? Marcio just said the dark light off of The Elder, which I love. The Elder.
You love The Elder. You love The Elder.
And you know what? Actually, you know what? Let me go back into the later Kiss on Psycho Circus,
because when that album came out, I knew some diehard Kiss fans that are like, "Oh, I'm not sure about this." The Elder.
I should have mentioned this. On Psycho Circus, Into the Void. That's the song I was thinking of. What a friggin' great song! What a great solo. That brings you back right to the early days of Kiss. Do you remember it? I know you're not as much as a fan.
No. You left me in the dust there. I was never the hugest Kiss fan, but I did enjoy their albums in the 70s.
Actually, I'm going to go to Dynasty right now. And it was Kiss Unplugged, where they sort of invited Ace back on stage with them. That sort of sparked the flame.
I'm going to part of this show is going to be dedicated to Stiff Rod too, because I mean, he was a huge Kiss fan. He is a huge Kiss fan. Bought everything they did in the 80s as well. If I had to go out on a limb, I would probably say Ace was his favorite member of the band. I'd have to ask him.
There's something to say about it,
something growing up in the 70s there, everybody was a Kiss fan at one point or another. So.
I'll tell you my biggest disappointment in Ace. Here's my biggest disappointment. Creatures of the Night, which is one of the best Kiss albums ever, only to find out he didn't really play on it or as much. And then on I Love It Loud, you hear the big drums, you hear Gene screaming away, the big chorus, anthemic, and then the guitar solo is going to happen, right? And what happens is Paul Stanley just kind of like jumps up and down and just kind of bends the strings a little bit, and that's it. I go, what's going on?
Ace stayed home that day.
What's going on here? That was the most, love the song, but what the hell's going on here? Music from the Elder. Look at this. A lot of people don't like this, but I do like this. Dark Light and Mr. Blackwell. Oh no, that's Gene Simmons. Sorry. Dark Light. I guess that was it, right? That's his only vocals on it. Frehley's only vocals on Dark Light. Still love the album. And if we go back one more step into Unmasked, that's where he has 3 songs. He's got Talk to Me, which everybody loves, Two Sides of the Coin, and Torpedo Girl. Remember Torpedo Girl?
Nope, don't remember that at all.
And now on Dynasty, just since we're doing this, 2000 Man, brilliant. Hard Times, brilliant again, and Save Your Love. That he's got 3. My memory's so good, Alan.
That's what my memory was. He after the solo album, he had a lot more tracks on the subsequent Kiss albums.
Yeah. Because they go, wait a second, what's going on here? Yes, you're correct. I'm getting a lot of comments here. Ace didn't play on Creatures at all. Yeah, I know. They kind of pretended like he did, but he didn't. Sure, I get it. John saying Dark Light was an awesome guitar solo.
Thank you, Bob Kulick. I don't know. I'm just...
Shroomer says, big part of my childhood, he hit me with a guitar pick as an opening act for Maiden. Rest in peace. Wow, look at that. Look, a lot of people are saying, Carlos is saying, Rock Soldiers. You remember Rock Soldiers, right? Ace is back and he told you so. It's got like a little bit of a spoken word, and like he's speaking and he's kind of doing solos, like little riffs in between the talking parts. And then there's like Rock Soldiers Come. You don't remember that?
Okay. Oh.
All right. I'm
sure if
look, Alan, I know you said, Jimmy, you're the fan.
Not a huge Kiss fan. I was even less of the solo stuff. So
yeah. Well,
but Ace remained true to himself, a true original. And it's a sad day for all of us to hear that he's passed away. That's for sure. Our condolences go out to all his friends and family. And it seems like we're doing this way too often here on the Metal Voice. Boy, it seems like almost once a month we're doing this now. It's sad. It's sad to see our heroes passing away. So,
yeah, Alan, we're doing this on the fly, and I'm just trying to recall all my memories on the fly. It's not prepared. It's completely live. But I think, this is a part of not only my childhood, but every guy our age, or more or less our age.
For sure.
Halloween, we used to dress up as Kiss. Our mothers used to say, I can get you a Kiss lunchbox. Yeah. There's the dolls of Kiss. There was the comic books and putting the blood in Kiss.
Books, yeah.
It was a pop culture. It was a tidal wave for those 5-6 years when they exploded, and everybody had their favorite. Everybody had their favorite character, and Ace leaving the band kind of tore the band apart, and it was just a different. It became a hair metal band, right, in a way. That's it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, like I said, it's a tough time here at the Metal Voice. Another one of our heroes, Jimmy's childhood hero, Ace Frehley, unfortunately passed away today. And we did this show to dedicate to him and all his fans out there here on the Metal Voice.
This is the last word by Larry. He says, Ace was the reason that I started playing guitar, and his solo album was the best. And still stood the test of time. Guys, thanks for watching. Leave some comments. Tell us, your favorite album, your favorite song. Was he your favorite Kiss member like me?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Another